course, I'm here with Shannon Wallace, who is an actor himself, but you're here today at the American Black Film Festival as a producer and star of your newest film, your debut feature, which is A Story About You.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to this role? What jumped out about the story that you wanted this to be your debut feature?
Well, story-wise, it's a story of it's a Brooklyn love story.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Brooklyn at the time.
Okay.
And it's about a man who, in the course of a week, the 5 women he's dealing with all confront him with different issues.
Okay.
And I just kind of I understood what that was. You know, in my life, I'm not like I don't juggle people simultaneously, but I've jumped from relationship to relationship, so I understand what that kind of man is. You know what I mean? We've all
Right. So this is autobiographical to a degree?
It felt that way on the page, and I was like, "There's no way I'm letting anybody else tell this story."
Uh-huh.
And then also it was kind of it had originated as a play, so from them adapting it to the play, they kind of kept. There's a lot of monologues, there's soliloquies and stuff in there that they kept. So I saw it as an opportunity to kind of make a film and format it in a different way than the traditional.
Yeah.
You know, it goes from it's told in vignettes.
Okay.
As if it were a play, it'd be different acts, and then it would cut to black, and then different scenarios. And I was like, that's really interesting, and it was just something that I just kind of jumped at. And the producer in me was like, I have to be involved more than just.
That's just
guy,
acting,
right?
Yeah,
like, yeah, let's kind of mold this thing together and see what we can come up with.
Right, because as a producer, you kind of have a little bit more leeway in like framing the story and how you want to tell it and things of that nature.
Yeah, I was involved from the beginning as a producer, but I really got activated after we wrapped.
Okay.
After we finished shooting, and we're trying to put this film together in a way that we wanted it to be different.
Yeah.
And creatively, I think that's where I kind of stepped in and was like, this is. We had a few versions of the film that we weren't really happy with, so we did some rewrites, we did some reshoots, and that's when I really got invigorated and was really charged up to, put the producer hat on.
Yeah. It kind of has a little bit of a feel of like she's got to have it from the male perspective. Would that be accurate?
100%.
Yeah, okay.
So our director, Joseph Austin, right? He's a huge Spike fan.
Yeah.
And one of Spike's original producers, Monty Ross, who helped to produce She's Gotta Have It, is one of our consulting producers.
Okay.
So like the tie-in and the influence is absolutely there.
I knew I was seeing that. I was like, this, I think I know. Now it explains it, yeah.
100%. Yeah. We wanted to, Spike does a great job, especially back then, of mixing media. So he'll have like still images with music composed and then film on top of it. So we wanted to do all of those things and just kind of make this an homage to that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. That's fine.
Your character, Wilde, is described as an enigmatic lover, longing to learn how to love properly. So is that something you figured out in portraying this character, or is it something you're still trying to figure out yourself?
I did. I learned a lot from Wilde, but I think I was already on my journey before. But reading it, it kind of inspired me to kind of dig a little deeper into, what my patterns were, maybe a little bit of what my traumas were, and kind of unpack those things because they matter. They play out how they play out.
Yeah.
So, I needed to.
What do you think people get wrong about love and intimacy and connection? It's usually sometimes when people talk about it, it's kind of on a surface level, or there's kind of like this battle of the sexes of what men want this, women want that, and that's why it's difficult to connect. But what do you think we as human beings, what do we get wrong about our understanding or interpretation of what love and intimacy is?
I think that's it. I think that we think we understand what it is, right? I think it's a spectrum and it's so vast. Like in the beginning, I always used to think this way, that love should be easy.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not easy, it's simple.
Yeah.
Right? There's a very big difference, but the work that it takes, it's easy to fall in love and it's very difficult to stay in love.
Oh,
right?
wow, yeah, that's a good way of
like
putting
that.
it.
It's the work that it takes, I don't think we quite understand.
Yeah.
And the work that it may take with one person is going to be different for the next person, and it's always going to be different because people are different. So it's terrifying, but it's fun if you look at it like a puzzle. I look at things like a puzzle, and I'm like, I got to figure this thing out. I have to solve it.
Yeah.
And if I've had a lot of fun trying to understand what love is and how to love and how I want to be loved and how my love comes across and all those things. It's fun, man. It's tough, it's difficult, but it's fun.
What keeps you, because there are some people who are, what, would you consider yourself a hopeless romantic? Or like what keeps you going in the sense of like, even with all those challenges and things you just discussed, is you clearly haven't given up on it. It's something that you're still in search of. So what keeps you going in that direction and not just throwing your hands up and say, okay, I'm done?
I've tried that. Got real quiet. Got real lonely. I've done that. I was coming out of a really long relationship, and I was like, I tried. That worked. It was perfect when it was, and then it didn't work. So I go, maybe it's just not for me.
Yeah.
So I did take a lot of time off, and then realized like, no, it's that perfect doesn't have to be the next perfect. It's gonna, every version of perfect is gonna be different with a different person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps me going. I love connection. I love companionship. I love the idea of partnership. And I'm just not. I've said this a few times, but I'm not my best version of myself when I'm alone.
Oh wow, that's men don't usually admit stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for the women who are watching this, you know what I mean?
We need y'all. I need y'all.
So who's the you in a story about you? Is it you, or is the viewer going to see themselves as the you?
Yeah. Hopefully. So what was also interesting about the film for me was that it's a story of a man who has centered himself around these women. And in making the film, I had realized that he was not the main character. It was the women that were.
Oh, okay.
And I saw it as a way to kind of spotlight these actresses and give them the mic, basically. And in the film, you'll see that Wilde he absorbs a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't say much, but these women are giving it to him and telling him about himself and telling him what's wrong with himself in this situation.
Yeah.
And that became really important to me. So the story about you, to me, is about the women, these four women and their experience with this man. But what I think is really cool about the film is that at the end of the film, we ask a lot of questions and intentionally we leave them unanswered.
Yeah.
Because we want people to talk about it. We want it to be discussions and topics, and game nights and whatnot. And we want it to kind of hit the culture, and it's very intentional.
Yeah.
So the discourse around the film, depending on who's watching it, it could change, and then that makes the story about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't just act. Of course, you produce and you direct and you do photography.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about yourself when it comes to those different facets of your creativity and your artistic expression?
Yeah. I learned that they're all the same.
How so?
That whatever I'm on a journey to find truth, right? And I do that with my acting, and I thought it was only with my acting, but I found that, picking up these other things, I can find truth in photography. I've been finding truth of a moment in photography and capturing that moment, but I can, in directing, I'm searching for the truth in a different way. I'm not looking for it from a performative standpoint. I'm looking for like a realistic standpoint. The camera just so happens to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like truthfulness is my through line, and honesty. And I'm always going to be searching for that, but I'm finding new ways to find it.
Yeah.
These new slashes that I've been picking up.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for you. So you're getting ready to debut this film, and it's going to be watched by people. I know you say you want people to have that conversation, leave it open-ended, but what is your ultimate goal or hope for people when they see this film? A two-parter.
Yeah.
For people and then for men in particular.
Yeah, for men, the message is very clear. Dude, it's listen to black women.
Okay.
Right? Like that's been my message. Women, listen to women. Like they know a little bit more than we do.
Yeah.
But for people, I want them to come in open-minded.
Yeah.
Because this film is it's very different. Like the format, there's no structure to this film.
Yeah.
And I think from a filmmaker standpoint, I want people to be inspired to not have to follow the rules of, 3-act structures and 5-act structures and all of those, film school things.
Yeah.
No disrespect to film school, it's great. But I think knowing the rules and then throwing them out intentionally is a very joyful act to me. So from a filmmaker's perspective, that's what I want people. But from just a general audience perspective, it's just enjoy it and listen, because I've learned things from reading the script, and then from watching the film, I've learned so much. And I just think it's an experience. It's a film to be experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Shannon Wallace, congratulations on the film. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.